Hello, my name is Ilona. I'm going to post this video on Thursday, April 11th, 2024. And I've got some things that have to do with the Netherlands, but I think it's very interesting also internationally what is going on. But first I wanted to talk about America, the United States of America, because I wanted to take a look at the energy of the United States of America. And I had a few articles or a few things I wanted to talk about first, and then of course taking a look at just in general what's going on there. And it was very interesting. It was like a completely different subject actually came up in the card reading. So the first things I wanted to mention is that I shared a clip from Rand Paul. He's a senator in Kentucky, and he's in a committee that is researching or looking at what has happened the past 4 years. He's brought out a lot of things to light, and in this clip he actually mentions that there is no way that what has been going on the past 4 years being transmitted through animal to humans, because it is manipulated. It's completely focused on humans, and if it was from animals to humans, that would not be possible. Of course, other theories of what is going on aside, but it's very important that people start to understand that this was manipulated and manufactured. Very interesting. So I just thought that was an interesting thing happening. And in Russia, they are researching ties from the Ukraine that is connected to financing certain things happening in Russia. Awful things happening in Russia. And they showed, or at least they came out, that a certain company called Burisma Holdings had something to do with financing certain incidents happening on Russian terrain. And of course, Burisma Holding is connected to the son of Mr. B, Hunter, who's at this moment, I believe, also going in court with all kinds of things. So this is very interesting to see. So I'm sure there's going to be more coming out, all the finances actually through America to Ukraine to, of course, be used against Russia. I think more and more is going to come out about that. So I wanted to take a look at the energy of the United States of America right now. Thought that was very interesting. Well, it was a very interesting card reading. We've got the Five of Wands, so there's a lot of struggle going on. But then the central card is the Six of Cups. In the past, we have the Magician. Underneath we have the Devil card. Very interesting. Underneath the Six of Cups. And for the future, we have the Queen of Cups and the Tower. So when we're looking at this, so there's a lot of struggle going on, but the focus right now has to do with children. And has to do with the influences, the dark influences on children. I also shared a clip, what I thought was very interesting, from Dr. Phil. Not my favorite person in the world, but he has made a certain change, and he was actually discussing in his show about, children getting all these surgeries and all these pills to change their gender at such a young age. And there was a doctor there talking about a clinic, and that she doesn't want to support that anymore, because usually a few months along the line they want it changed back, and in certain cases, especially with operations, that's not possible anymore. And he was really, in that clip, I shared it on my Telegram channel, mentioning 12 and 14-year-olds, and he was talking about that have difficulties choosing their pajamas. They should be be capable of choosing this transition. And it's really shocking if you think about it, because taking certain pills, surgery, these are irreversible changes. Once that has happened in some way, I'm not sure with pills, but even that can damage so many levels, especially when it's taken before puberty, because then puberty won't set in, and then there are going to be a lot of issues. And I'm glad he's actually showing that, and that people are talking about that, because that's also a dark energy influence on children. Then of course we've got the Nickelodeon case with the documentary all coming out. We've got P. Diddy with all these things coming out. So right now in America, the biggest focus is on the children, I think, especially with this card reading. There's a lot of struggle and fighting about that, but it needs to come out. It needs to come out. It's so important that this is coming out. It's about the children. It has always been about the children. And I think this is very important. So, to be very honest, when I was doing the card reading, I was more, thought that there were more other things would be coming out and not necessarily the children. But I'm glad that the focus is going to be on the children now. And maybe there are some things happening that we don't hear about yet. But I have a feeling we're going to hear more and more about this. And this will unite people. Children, that is like a common denominator that will unite and connect people with each other. And that's the Queen of Cups. And the Tower shows that it's going to implode. That entire thing is going to fall apart, as you can see, falling apart. That all these influences, all these agendas they're pushing, all these things happening, it's going to fall apart because people will unite and will connect and will understand that that's really not where we should go. And it's especially the massive scale this is happening on such a young age. And it's just, if you can just hear about this in that small clip from Dr. Phil, if someone comes in and says, yes, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, I want to change. And basically that's it. They're like, okay. They're not even going to question it. There's really not much done in looking for maybe other solution. Maybe something's going on, mental health, nothing. It's almost like instantaneously, okay, we'll start the procedures, or we'll start with the pills. It's really shocking to see. And I think these are all these influences and it's being shown. So I think in America right now, there is really the biggest battle about the children, and I think we're going to see more and more coming out about that. So that's what my first card reading. The second one is more focused on the Netherlands, but I think it's just as important also. This has to do with two articles. One was published yesterday, and today there was also an article published, and this is very interesting. I hope I can translate it. Of course, it is in Dutch. But first of all, this one is from today, that apparently in the police they are going to investigate the people working for the police that believe in some awful elites that are, doing awful things. And that they are, how to say this, there's a distrust from certain people working for the police against the government. And they are now going to investigate this. They are also bringing up in the article that apparently in Germany, there were like 400 police officers with very extreme right-winged ideas. And they were investigated, and now they want to investigate here in the Netherlands. And there is even a letter going to the parliament to get like a strategy about this, because that's actually connected to something else. I'm sorry. This is important because this is connected with the other article that was published yesterday, and that has the letter to the parliament in it. And that is concerning people that want to be sovereign, that don't want to be connected to any government agencies anymore and government organizations. So they are, saying that they're sovereign and they are not connected anymore. And this article that has, this is about the three groups. There is like a research done. An analysis, I think that's the correct word. It has to do, I'm sorry, again, what is the correct word? I just don't, let's see. Yeah, an analysis. And it's called, it is done by the Dutch, agency. You of course have an agency, we also have an agency. And it's called Met de rug naar de samenleving. And it means turning your back towards society. And they have a lot of issues with people that are kind of separating them and not wanting to, pay any taxes or vote anymore. They're kind of stepping away from it. So this is very interesting that they're bringing this up. And they've got like three groups in this analysis. And the first group are people that are want to become as independent as possible, but are not completely turned away from society. The second group believes that the Dutch government has no power over them anymore and are not, doing anything that is, asked of by the government. So they're not following anything anymore. And the third group might even start using physical means to resist all these things, and they're really, really worried about this. And so we have, of course, right now there isn't really a government yet. They're trying to form another government, so we have these ministers that are still there, and the Minister of Justice, Dylan, and we have, of course, the Minister of Binnenlandse Zaken. So that's not foreign affairs. Let's see. What is the correct term? Home Affairs. That's the Minister of Home Affairs, Hugo de Jonge, and he's very famous in the Netherlands because he was the Minister of Health during what has happened the past 4 years. And they have sent a letter to the Parliament to reach a certain strategy how to deal with these people. And of course, we also have, I think in Scotland or Ireland, that certain people, you're not allowed to say certain things. You can actually, paying a fine. And that's what they want. They want to shut people up, so to speak. But this is, to me, so interesting. To me, this feels like panic. And of course, this is, this is about the Netherlands, but I'm sure this is happening in other countries as well. In Germany, maybe, I think that they are panicking and they are really worried about what is going on, losing control, because most of the time they won't discuss this, they won't talk about this or make fun of it. So, or they completely ignore everything that is connected to certain theories and things like that, completely ignore it, or they make it completely ridiculous. But they never address it in a serious manner. And these two articles are quite interesting, especially they are now actually looking into the police force to see if anyone thinks or feels that way. And of course, they want the parliament to react, to create a certain strategy how to deal with these things. So they want to come up with a law concerning that. This is very interesting. To me, this feels like they are really losing ground here. So the cards I actually pulled, the first one is the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords as the central card. We've got the Four of Cups in the past. We've got the Five of Swords underneath the Two of Swords, and for the future we have the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Wands. This also, of course, a yes, so I do believe they are losing control, and you can see it in these very clear cards. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't know exactly what to do. This is a man standing still between two options, two wands, like, what am I going to do? And the Two of Swords don't, she has a blindfold on, so she doesn't even really know how to make choices. They are losing it. They want to get their power back. They want to be in control again. That's what this very grim Five of Swords, where really, if you look at it, there are only losers, but they want to be here, in this position that, full control, but they're losing it. They are obviously losing it. They don't know what to do anymore. And so in the future, most likely they're going to come up with some law, or at least they want to, look at they want to vote, of course, over, what is it called? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit, just like I can't come up on certain, a bill. They just want to propose a bill. That's what I was looking for. Propose a bill to, shut people up, so to speak, to keep people quiet because they're losing control. They don't know how to contain this anymore. And more people are aware of this, realizing, especially here in the Netherlands, but I'm sure in other countries as well, that there's something wrong. And this is their way of trying to regain control again, but it's not going to work because we have the Ace of Wands. That's like a new beginning energetically. Something completely new will happen. This is not something they'll be able to control anymore. And because of this now coming out in a very serious matter, this will, sow seeds in other people as well that have never heard of it, or never seen or never read anything about it. It's now getting the attention in a very serious matter. This is very, very interesting, and I'm sure there's going to be criticisms about this as well, that people have freedom of speech, and this is just, I think this is a good sign. These articles to me show that they are losing ground. They're trying to regain control again, and they're losing it. But here in the Netherlands, we're gonna get some bill or something else, something ridiculous proposed, but it's not going to go anywhere. That's the feeling I'm getting. So I want to leave it at this. Hope to see you in another video. Bye.